The new year is getting off to a rocky start in America, with New York's mayor admitting even he feels unsafe on the city's subway, just days after downplaying concerns felt by many in the Big Apple.
We're going to make sure New Yorkers feel safe in our subway system, and they don't feel that way now. I don't feel that way when I take the train every day or when I'm moving throughout our transportation system.
Well, it comes as crime continues to rise in major cities around the US, like in Chicago, where carjacking has increased by more than a third compared to the same time last year. And the spike in car theft isn't confined to that city alone.
There are a few things that sound more terrifying than carjacking. Having someone remove you from your vehicle at gunpoint and then drive away. But this alarming trend is on the rise across the United States. In 2022, there have been over 90 carjackings in the U.S. city of Philadelphia. And January isn't even over yet. Now, on 3 of those occasions, drivers pulled out their legally owned firearms and shot the attempted carjackers. Driving through the streets of America is starting to sound like the Wild West. One woman in Chicago was carjacked twice within just a few days. In New York City, carjackings more than doubled over the past year, with 20 of them happening so far just this month. Fear is spreading throughout the city.
I mean, it's all out of control, you know? People don't want to come back into the city, so there's going to be less population, which causes all of this. You know, people got to come back. People got to get going with life again. But I understand, it's scary, right? Maybe this new mayor, he carries a gun himself, right? What does that say?
I also heard something about a DA who wanted to get rid of the minor crimes and let them go unpunished. I think it's a big mistake.
I travel from Jersey, okay? Even Jersey is not safe. Travel from Jersey, come from Elizabeth to here. It's terrible inside the system here. Every day, I gotta, worry about my life, Traveling, commuting from Jersey to New York. It's terrible.
The subways are not exactly a safe alternative. A woman was recently pushed to her death by a homeless man at the Times Square subway station. The mayor has come up with reassuring advice.
New Yorkers are safe on the subway system. I think it's about 1.7% of the crimes in New York City that occur on the subway system. What we must do is remove the perception of fear.
Sure, you can remove the perception of fear, but you can't ignore dire statistics. Overall, subway crime is up by 65.5%. Residents do not feel safe at all.
It's not safe. I take the subway every single day. There's no police presence.
I think it's really terrible. I can only imagine how scared those people must be.
Like I said, for the carjacking, you need a task force, special units for that, special units in the subway. We need police in the subway, that's definitely. Because myself, I got attacked myself. Coming to work and from work, I got attacked.
But crime can strike anywhere. A woman was stabbed to death in an upscale furniture store in Los Angeles. Her grieving father spoke up, blaming the soft-on-crime approach of some politicians.
We have a lot of politicians that somehow forgot about people and think the key to getting elected is to support the lowest rung of our society and to give them rights. And somehow that's the answer to getting votes.
Let the police do their jobs. Go back to the Constitution. There's a lot of issues I have with certain methodologies of policing. But if you let police officers do their job and get rid of this fear that they're going to do their job and then they're going to wind up being the next YouTube sensation because the department leaks 30 seconds of body camera footage instead of the entire thing, then you're going to see a massive a change in culture of criminality and citizen safeness. The public also has to do their responsibility in their part to understand that, yes, it works both ways. The whole innocent until proven guilty, which is what our society operates on, that applies to law enforcement too. Let the investigations be completed before any judgment and pass. Now, I understand we have a long way to go. There's a lot of departments out there that don't want to release information, that don't want to work with citizens, that are, like Chicago, when we had the body camera footage back in, I believe it was 2018 that wasn't released. We have to do a better job in working with the citizens, but at the same time, too, the citizens need to do their job and actually support law enforcement like they say they do.
With rising crime across the United States in the new year, many Americans are blaming liberals and their defund the police policies. Others are blaming economic crisis and the lack of opportunity. Regardless of the cause, Americans are simply not feeling safe. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.